There's a long road just behind you. Everything else comes so fast. Memories are all inside you, and you never make them back. I can feel that you're in through the world that you're not mixing. You can feel what I mean now that you're here. Just know there's nothing to fear along the way. There's nothing I could say, nothing I could say.
Puerto Rico, I love you. I love your fans. I love your culture. I love your music. Thank you for giving us an amazing pay-per-view premiere live event this past weekend with Backlash. And we are going to recap and talk all Backlash tonight on this live stream edition of the Worldly Podcast. Vamos!
Woo. So what does it mean to be a raging Cajun? Southwest Louisiana, wreck your face, man. Still don't get it in, I'ma let you know. All you gotta do is come and join the show.
Somos el pod de nuevo mensaje de la Suntilanos de Terminator Solares en Fritel. Bienvenido al podcast de los Mineros while estamos leyendo planas comercial. I told him if I could read it in Spanish, we would kick it off with a bang. But in translation, I say what I usually say in the morning. We're the highest tier pod of your weekly unfiltered wrestling and entertainment. Welcome to the Worldly Podcast. That's it. That's all I said. Spanish. My Spanish is pretty bad too, by the way. But
you were there. You were close. You were close.
I chugged the fuck out of this before I did it. So I was like, yeah, I need a beer before I start speaking shit Spanish. But yeah, we're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. We're on YouTube and Twitch. I'm 1/3 of the Host Lee Trio tonight. I'm Marcus and Marcus Lee 337 on Twitter. And I'm joined, not one, but two amigos tonight. First up, representing Chicago. Because you know what? It's Tino's time right now. We got Tino. How you doing, Tino?
Good, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you coming on. Or thanks for letting me come on, I should say.
No problem. And then finally, our other guest tonight, representing Music City, USA, Nashville, Tennessee, Tighten Up, Gold Preds, Rocky Top,
All of the above.
Well,
Whoa. Let's not go that far with the Vandy stuff.
They just need to work on being future doctors, is what I could say.
Just focus on being doctors. Marcus, it's always a pleasure when you guys have me here at World Elite and everything you guys do. I'm hyped. Me and Tino, regular acquaintances now.
Yeah,
we've seen each other a few times in the past few weeks.
Right.
And you can check out Will Gray on Botched Spots and Chair Shots. So I got a big round of applause for Puerto Rico. That was a hell of a weekend.
Yes, it was.
I'm waiting to see what London does for Money in the Bank, but we're not talking about London tonight. We're talking about Puerto Rico. First premier live event since 2005, and the hype was really different back then. Good morning, Thom from the broadcast in the house.
What's up, guys?
So,
I was really hyped about Puerto Rico.
Like
I'm a territory guy, so the Puerto Rican territory was known. That's where the Abdullah the Butchers and the Bruiser Brodies came through, throwing batteries and rolling into the stands with chains and everything. Like Puerto Rico was known for being a violent territory. So when they said they were taking it back there for Backlash,
yeah, I was excited. It was one of those things that I feel like Puerto Rico, like the crowd and everything, it's just like they're a different type of crowd, and like when you get there, you get that big fight feel, and like it started on SmackDown, and you even could tell with like the arena and everything like that. It was just something about it, and it just continued at Backlash, and it was just the whole thing was just and like I talked about before we went live, it was one of those pay-per-views like that people kind of like I feel like weren't very hyped about. But after Friday, I was hyped, and then Saturday came, and like it exceeded my expectations.
Friday brought that hype, and it stayed overnight in the arena, because I definitely recorded SmackDown because I said I want to see how this crowd acts, because this was also their first live event on cable or television. They never ever hosted a Raw or a SmackDown. They just did New Year's Revolution and a couple of house shows in the last 18 years. Never did SmackDown, and they finally did it. I like how they did the drone camera where it just like flew outside.
That was so cool.
That was one of my favorite parts. Yeah, the drone was awesome.
It's just those little things that if they can do, it just makes the show a little bit better.
What's
like
up, Jordan? Get well soon, Jordan. I'll see you Saturday.
Hey.
Yeah, I liked that. And it was crazy they used the same set they did for the Royal Rumble, which it was kind of weird. I was hoping to see the original massive screen like you see for Raw and SmackDown. They even used that. They were like, we're going to make this big. Let's just use what they did for the Rumble and just make like a parallel entrance, like if they were in a baseball park.
They love like it them looking like they're coming out of like the dugout now. And it's like they would have been really cool if they did that for one show and then brought something like they did back at New Year's Revolution 2000, or what they had at New Year's Revolution 2005. I actually went back and watched it after SmackDown on Friday just to kind of like get a little like fresh if they did anything like different like Saturday to compare to back then. I feel like if they would have brought in some palm trees and done a little stuff like that, it would have looked just to have that little different type of a feel. But that's just me pipe dreaming that they're all going to bring back these like stages that they had back in the day. They're not going to.
Just don't do what they did like for New Year's Revolution. I was hoping back then I was going to see something epic, like a freaking dragon or something. No, all I saw was two jumbotrons with palm trees and two big Puerto Rican flags. I'm like, weak.
If they could have had the stage how they had it and then had something like that, or like you said, like the dragon, because at the New Year's Revolution, that was like the dragon logo.
Like with the fire that shot out of his mouth. Yeah. That was pretty cool.
That would have been cool. Imagine if they probably would have done one of those things that they do now if they had it back then. The things that we see on the TV that nobody else sees.
But man, that SmackDown was probably the best SmackDown of the year so far, with
Oh,
how
yeah.
hyped they were, and then with LWO, and then booing the fuck out of Judgment Day, and that crowd was on its game, and I was like, Backlash is gonna kick ass the next day. I ended
The
up
crowd
watching
was
it
on
on a
fire.
Sunday. I loved it.
Yeah, the
Way
crowd was on fire for beginning to.
the
Dude.
biggest debate was, what was the loudest? Whoa, was it Puerto Rico or was it WrestleMania?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Puerto Rico, I feel like maybe WrestleMania just because there was more fans, but maybe Puerto Rico because it was as loud as they were screaming. Because that pop when Carlito came out, because at first I didn't hear the music and all I heard was, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
And I was like,
you
"Who the heck
didn't.
is it?"
You
And then
didn't
I
hear
was
the
like,
spit. You didn't hear the spit, and I spit in the face of people who don't want to
"No, I
record
don't know
it.
if my TV wasn't loud enough, but I didn't hear it at first, and then finally, I heard it, and I'm like, okay." And but that was just like the crowd went nuts, and then it was like, and we'll probably mention it. I feel like the only thing that they did wrong is maybe where they placed the matches. Do you guys
Yeah.
feel like that they should have had Bad Bunny and Priest main event and have
Yes.
not have Cody and Brock?
Cody and Brock should have kicked off so they could get that shit fire out of the way.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought they were gonna do, but obviously.
I thought they would open with it. The match orders definitely, you said, the biggest hit they took all night. Everything else was great. There were parts of it I said before going into it, it reminded me of a bot show. Like sometimes, like when they do these big shows, like you didn't really feel like there were no title changes. It was a lot of story that was short built for pop. So the month between WrestleMania to Backlash, they built it in the month they had. And then what they did was they tried to make it big because it was in Puerto Rico, and it worked. It went over well. I do think that Priest and Bad Bunny should have been the main event, though.
Before we move on, you think we're going to use that? Not we. WWE is going to use that same set for Backlash for like Money in the Bank in London, or maybe Night of Champions in Jeddah, or they might go super big on the stage in Jeddah because Saudi Arabia's got all the money in the world.
I just wish they would do something like why can't we just have like that, like stages that like I don't know, like the stages back in the, like I keep saying it, but I just wish that there was some type of different feel to it, because it's like the Raw and SmackDown just have the same feel to it. Like there's just nothing. So it's like I feel like I hope they don't just did not have the similar feel to it, but they probably will.
I like the idea of them keeping some similarities and uniformities to it, but putting the Kona paid on it for whatever premium live event, or if they're in Puerto Rico, do stuff to give it that flair. But I like the idea of having them kind of uniformed and look the same, and then next year roll out a set. So we know Raw and SmackDown. We know what the big premium live events are going to be, and we know what the smaller ones will be, and then make them unique for every pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just seeing this here. But this is not WWE related, but I'm about to make Tino happy. Impact Wrestling just announced they're doing Bound for Glory in Chicago.
Hey, Joe. That works.
Like they just basically just revealed their pay-per-view schedule for the rest of the year, and they're doing Slammiversary in July this year now instead of June. So I gotta wait till July to watch
There's
Slammiversary.
just so many pay-per-views on like in the next few months.
Are they coming to Nashville?
I don't think so. I didn't realize they're based in Toronto now or somewhere in Canada. Like Impact's every week now is in Canada now.
They have their main office in Canada. They have an office in Nashville, and they have one in Orlando.
Oh, I figured they still have an office in Nashville and Orlando. But yeah, so Backlash was rocking. The attendance 17,944. It kicks off with the Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. Didn't even kick off with the host. You know, when I'm thinking, oh, Bad Bunny's hosting the show, I figured he'd have started the show off, but he was in the video package intro, so that kind of counted. I'll let that one slide because Bad Bunny was awesome this past weekend. So the Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. Everyone said this match was very, very good, but something told me there was a lot of people that were criticizing Bianca's performance, especially when she injured her arm, saying that she damn near almost killed Io, hitting the KOD or hitting that power bomb or whatever she did off the top rope. But they were also giving Bianca Belair vibes like, oh, she's like John Cena at ECW One Night Stand, because that crowd was 100% behind Io. They were booing Bianca. She's a heel to them. But they were saying Io could have had this match won if Bayley and Dakota didn't even come out and try to help her, because I know Bayley was only coming out to show off those sexy ass pants she wore that damn near show her ass. But
yeah, literally the whole thing.
I won't criticize Io. She had a hell of a performance, but Bianca retained, and I figured she would. And I was worried about a title swap with her and Rhea down the road. I don't even think we're going to get that. I heard they might rename the belts or some shit. I'm hearing a bunch of different rumors, but it was a good match, but it wasn't the best match. It wasn't Bianca's best performance. It was probably Io Sky's best performance, but I'll probably rate it a solid 3 if I would give it a rating out of 5 stars. But it was a pretty long match too. That match, I think, was 18 minutes flat, and it felt like it went over 30 minutes. But Will, what you got to say about that match with Bianca and Io kicking off?
I think this match 100% was their chance to get Bianca back on the map, because after the showing that Charlotte and Rhea had at WrestleMania, it gets us to where, okay, it was a chance for Bianca and Io to showcase what they can do, because everybody gave Rhea and Charlotte their roses and put that match over for what it was, and rightfully so. I compared it to Steamboat Savage for what it was, because it was a phenomenal match that night. But I think for Bianca and Io a month later at Backlash, this was their chance to have that. And they did. They had a fantastic match. It was the second longest match of the night, I believe. Maybe third, but it still did really well. They told a great story. Io was super over with the crowd. You're absolutely right about the Cena reference, because that's who it was. The person everybody thought was going to get cheered was getting booed, and the person who everybody thought was going to get booed was getting cheered. It was very reminiscent of Cena and One Night Stand, the Rock Hogan at WrestleMania 18, where everybody assumed Hogan was going to get booed out of the building, and the crowd was cheering him. You know, everybody, they threw Rock under the bus that night. That's kind of how they did Bianca here. They took what Bianca had in the States and made her an enemy for it.
Yeah, even the dog even agreed with you on that. All right, Tino, what you got?
No, I mean, I agree with both of you. You guys pretty much said everything I was gonna say out of my mouth. Out of everything I said, you guys already said. I thought it was a good match to start off the show, and like we said, I definitely thought it would be Brock and Cody, because I feel like Brock either main events the show or he starts the show. And as soon as he didn't start the show, I knew that he was gonna main event the show. And we'll obviously talk about that match later. But this one was good and everything. I was really hoping Io Sky was gonna pull it off, because I don't know who Bianca is gonna lose it to. Like at some point, we got to find out who Bianca is going to lose it to. And I kind of was hoping it was going to be Io Sky, because I don't believe Damage Control is going to be together too much longer. We've kind of seen those like cracks, and I feel like eventually it's going to happen, and we're going to see something go down between all of them and everything like that. So, I mean, it was definitely good. It was a good way to start off the show and everything. But as you said, you've seen all the rumors. I want, what's going on with these titles? That's what I want to know. Like, what are we doing with the Raw, SmackDown? Are we renaming them? Are we having new designs? So that's still like my major question coming out of Backlash with these two women matches. But I mean, yeah, it was a good way to start off the show. And of course, the EST, I figured the same. I knew she was going to win. So, yeah.
Yeah, I liked some of the backstage segments they had, even though they didn't have much. And I liked how there were a lot of segments that were just speaking straight Spanish and no English. Like they show Bad Bunny backstage, you know, getting prepared for his match. Then Rey Mysterio comes and talks to him. And then one of the loudest pops, so they show Savio Vega walking backstage to Bad Bunny, giving him a kendo stick where the handle of the stick is painted like the Puerto Rican flag, which was pretty cool. And he comes out with it later in the night. So I'm thinking, okay, you can't have a premier live event in Puerto Rico without one of the members of Los Boricuas and Savio Vega. And sure enough, we got Savio. He appeared at the show, and we'll talk more about him when we get to that point. But what was were y'all shocked and stunned to see Savio, or y'all were like, oh, he has to be there, he's going to pop up?
I mean, I definitely thought he possibly would come, but then when he did, I was like, damn, like that's kind of cool. And then like when he gave him that like with the kendo stick and everything like that, like I was like, okay, like we're definitely gonna see it. So it was definitely cool. And that was one of the other things when I saw that, I'm like, could we possibly see him later on tonight? So it definitely was cool.
It absolutely was. And having a chance to, they did a really great job of keeping it secret. Carlito came back in 2021 and back in 2023 now at the Royal Rumble the first time and now at Backlash. Both times he came back to a pop. So I feel like they have something there if they need to go back to that well again. You know, they do this once a year thing where they bring him in and let him do his thing. That's cool. I think having Savio Vega there made sense for the Puerto Rican crowds. You had to have one or two of them. You had to have one or both because they're the two big ones right now.
Did you guys
like when you think about?
Go ahead. I'm sorry, my bad.
No, you're good.
I was just gonna say, did you guys see that that he could possibly be managing Bad Bunny next time he comes back, like for SummerSlam or something like that?
I can believe that.
So
I would hope
sorry,
so.
that was all I was gonna say. My bad, Will.
I would love that.
Yeah, it would make sense, and it would be an easy way for them to get that. You know, I keep that cheap pop because they know if he shows up on occasion, it's going to be a big deal. So if they get that pop this way, it'll be easy for them.
Exactly.
All right, next up we get Seth freaking Rollins versus Omos, and again, I love when the crowd gets long and they sung the shit out of his song, and I even loved how they used the drone. They used the drone camera. But yeah, happy birthday, Bakley. What is up?
Happy birthday, Cage. What's up, bro?
To our favorite ginger.
Hey, wait,
whoa. Today.
Wait, whoa. Listen, I'm a ginger too, man.
Yeah, but you gotta understand that group chat was funny when we just pick with that. So I never even saw your hair color. That's crazy. I thought you had the same hair color as me.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, ginger all the way. I've been a ginger all whole life, sadly. My grandma dyed my hair green one time. It didn't work very well.
Y'all should be a tag team. You and Bakley could be the
Let's
tag
do
team
it.
champions.
I'll take the second best. Does that mean I get the world heavyweight title too?
Oh, come on. That's a
The
big
second
deal.
best title?
I always consider the WWE title the second best title when they had the big gold belt during the Ruthless Aggression era. That was the most beautiful. But what do y'all think of that belt, by the way? I never asked anybody else that. I love it.
It definitely is cool. I definitely get the big gold vibes, and like Edge was talking about it today on that little thing he did too, and he was talking about how he never lost it, and I started getting like the chills and everything, and I kind of now hope he wins on SmackDown. But yeah, I really like it, and it's definitely been growing on me. I can't wait to see somebody actually walk around with it though.
Me too.
I agree. I think it's going to be a great title. I think it's their answer to the big gold. It's kind of their callback to it. So I think it's all dependent on who they decide to put that belt on.
Mm-hmm. So in this match, they're making Omos like just this unstoppable force. Like it was kind of giving me the just of any superstar against Andre. Like they're making Omos like this irresistible force or unmovable object, one or the other, that Gorilla Monsoon would say. And didn't at one point Rollins did like 2 consecutive or 3 consecutive curb stomps and Omos kicked out like at 1 or at 2 because Omos was kicking out of shit that usually Rollins would win a match. And it took a curb stomp from the top turnbuckle that we've never seen before. And I'm like, if Omos kicks out of this, I don't see him losing this match. But unfortunately, he didn't kick out. Rollins wins. I was happy. And I'm like, now let's put the big gold belt on Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the best Omos match I've definitely watched in my lifetime. But I mean I think Seth could have a great match with anybody. Yeah, but yeah, every time Seth did a move and Omos kicked out, I'm like, are they really about to have Omos win versus Seth? I'm like, please don't. And as you just said, as soon as he hit the curb stomp, I'm like, he's gonna kick out. And then he didn't, thank goodness. But Seth Rollins wins. It's a good day, and we're happy days and everything like that. But I do, and I've been saying it since the beginning. Everybody's been talking to me, like when we talk on my channel or any, like when I come on and talk to others. I think Seth's been winning it since the beginning. I think Seth is the perfect person to win it, and then we could figure out whatever Cody wants to go with Money in the Bank, etc., whatever. But yeah, I'm taking Seth no matter who wins on SmackDown tomorrow.
Bruh, the GWO, the Ginger
Hey,
World
I love
Order.
it. The GWO. And then instead of the red, white, and blue, we could have orange around it. Like, let's
I was
do
gonna
it.
say, are y'all shirts gonna be white with orange font, or is
Yes,
the
sir.
shirt gonna be orange with white
Yes,
font?
sir. Let's do it. Cage, me and you, bro.
Put some little orange dots around it too.
Yes.
Put some like polka dots.
Make it look like freckles.
Yes.
Yes. GWO for life.
Y'all can say that line from South Park. My mommy says every freckle on my face is a kiss from an angel.
I cannot tell you guys, ever since I was on that trivia show, I cannot think. Every time I watch an episode of South Park, I think about the podcast, and I'm just like, I can't. Like, it's just so funny.
But shout out to Tim King, the Tim King Show, and the Bloodline Entertainment Network. Be sure to check them out. And
Hey,
of course,
What's up, Tim?
Seamus could be y'all's manager. How about that?
Hey, I'm all about it. My friends tell me he's my long lost dad, and then my dad really isn't my dad. I'm like, if Seamus is my dad, then what's up? Like, I'm like, let's go. Come on, I'll be the honorary Uso, the Bruiser, the Brawling Brutes. Let's do it.
Be an honorary brute.
An honorary brute.
Yeah, you can hold the leash on Butch. Like when Butch takes off, you can just be like, "Hold, doggy, pull that,
pull the chain."
All right, moving on. We get Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed in a triple threat for the the United States Championship. The Intercontinental title's on Raw, and I knew for a fact Bronson wasn't going to win. I was like, I had Theory retaining, but I said if Lashley wins, at least it's going to stay on SmackDown. But everyone is still pissed that Theory won. I love it. I love Austin Theory. And Austin Theory never lost the triple threat match. That's how he won his second reign. He beat Lashley and Seth Rollins back at Survivor Series. But I love he won it old-fashioned style. Lashley spears Bronson, and Theory takes Lashley, throws him through the middle rope, and takes the pin and all the credit and gets the victory and retains. And people are not happy he's in one of the two triple threat matches from SmackDown. But I'm like, he's not going to win. Chill. He's just in it just to piss you guys off and to give y'all gray hair. He's going to Night of Champions as the U.S. champion. He might hold it. He might. I think he could go down as the longest reigning. I could see him holding it for a year or a year and a half. He's going to be that guy. And you want to talk about fantasy factions? And my WWE 2K23, I'm starting a faction with myself, Austin Theory, LA Knight, and Grayson Waller.
Oh, God.
We were either going to call ourselves the Ragin', or we were going to be a 2.0 version of NWO Wolfpack.
Love it.
That's crazy.
You're funny.
But I have to make myself a free agent because I had myself drafted to Raw, but they're all on SmackDown, so I either got to trade brands or I'm going to just go as a free agent.
Man.
I love your gameplay too when you do universe mode or whatever when you do your 2K23. I watched your Hell in a Cell match. I was like, oh, you still using McDonald's playpen in that video I watched.
But it's so annoying too because I forget to set it sometimes, and I'm like, damn, that's lame. Man, it's just did you guys speaking of 2K? Did you guys see we're getting a free DLC pack?
Yeah, I saw they were adding some new people to it, like Uncle Howdy apparently.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I guess they're adding a bunch of people, and then apparently they're going to be fixing some stuff and adding some like arenas or something supposedly, but who knows?
I know Dylan's going to be happy because this month's DLC pack drops tomorrow, or it dropped today, and Pretty Deadly's in that DLC pack, and that's his favorite tag team from NXT that got called up.
Let's go! Can't wait to see Pretty Deadly on SmackDown.
Yeah, this should be entertaining. What did y'all think of the triple threat with Theory, Bronson Reed, and Bobby Lashley? Tino?
It was sorry.
No, if Will wants to go first, since I went first last time.
Oh,
yeah.
I was just thinking that Bobby Lashley needs to be one of those guys in the main event on Friday night. I think it needs to be him and Edge. That's just my vote. I don't know how they're doing the triple threats, but I think Bobby Lashley needs another chance with in the title picture, not necessarily as a long reigning champion. I think Austin Theory is along those same lines as Dominic Mysterio right now. People love to hate him, and that's what's continually getting him over with the crowd, is because they absolutely love to hate him. And he's good at his job, so let him keep doing it.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Tino.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like he's that guy that you're starting to become to love to hate. And it's funny that like we're saying this about Theory, because I feel like people, a lot of people don't like Theory, but I feel like they got to respect what he's done, because you got to look at where he's come from and what he's done, from being in the Wave, from being in that group with I think it was Vega and Andrade, if I'm not, I think it was, and now he's the U.S. champion. He's becoming a U.S. champion and a main event star that we could really see be and possibly become a world champion. And it's so crazy just to see how far he's coming. Triple H, the triple threat match was great. I thought, I didn't think there was any way Bronson Reed was going to win, because obviously he was on Raw and Lashley and Theory were on SmackDown. And that's the only thing I disliked about having the draft before Backlash, was just because then it was kind of semi-predictable, because then you kind of knew that Bronson Reed wasn't going to win. Because if Reed went to SmackDown, I kind of was hoping Reed would win, just to maybe, maybe build to somebody else. But yeah, you're right. Theory's probably going to hold the title for a while. But it was a good triple threat match, 3 great opponents. And I agree with Will on that. I think Edge and Lashley would be a great one, because I feel like Edge is winning no matter what. I feel like Roman and the Bloodline may cost AJ Styles, because there's been rumors of AJ facing Roman at Night of Champions if Roman does compete. So AJ was one of my other
picks. He has to compete.
Huh?
Roman has to compete. He's a champion.
Well, yeah, I who knows what Roman has in his contracts? I mean, So, but yeah, I mean, it was a good one. But yeah, Theory picked up the win. I was doing good on my predictions at this point. I was like, I'll take it.
Everyone wants AJ versus Seth Rollins, because we haven't got that match since Money in the Bank of 2019, and I wouldn't mind rewinding that back. I predicted, I think, Edge or Lashley to win and face Seth Rollins at Night of Champions, but hey, I'll be fine with AJ. I'll be fine with whatever. Edge versus Lashley, 100%. Yeah, it's them two, or maybe Edge versus AJ.
Yeah, maybe they would run it back.
Well, wait, I don't even know who's competing in what triple threat. Is it Edge?
It's AJ, Finn, or no, not Finn. It's AJ, Mysterio, and Edge, and then it's Theory,
Lashley,
Theory, Lashley, and
your dad, Sheamus.
Oh my, yeah, that's right. My dad, Sheamus. True.
Your illegitimate
Uncle Sheamus. There we go.
Or Pare Sheamus. There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the two.
Well, so that would make, if Sheamus is your uncle, that means maybe Finley could be your dad. You're the bastard son.
Hey,
Hornswoggle could be your half or stepbrother. There you go.
All right. In my friend group, when all my little friend group that I would have like in middle school and stuff, I was the short kid always, so they would call me Hornswoggle because I would always watch wrestling and stuff. And this is the time when Hornswoggle was in DX and everything, so everybody loved Hornswoggle.
Like, watch his next show. He's gonna probably get a GWO shirt made.
Who, me?
Yes.
You already know it's in the making.
And you and Bakley got to do a show together. I would tune in and watch that.
Yes, sir.
You got to have the GWO and the Justins. We have Justin Santos and Justin from the In Time Wrestling Podcast. That would be an interesting conversation. A tag team match right there.
Justins versus the Gingers.
Yeah. All right. SmackDown Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Zelina Vega. I don't have much to say on the match, but I want to talk about Zelina's moment that she truly got and she truly deserved. That crowd was so behind her. I loved her attire. It just was so amazing. The custom Puerto Rican Jordans that she wore, the J1 cuts, the Puerto Rican attire. I loved how she went all Ric Flair, and when she opened up her robe, it was the big Puerto Rican flag, and then her family was at ringside, her mom, her stepdad, her brother, and then her uncle, who was a famous wrestler that wrestled Bruno Sammartino one time. and she dedicated that moment to her late father, who she lost during the 9/11 attacks, because he worked in the World Trade Center as a telecast, I think it was. So she dedicated that moment to him. And the words that Malachi Black or Aleister Black said on Twitter for her was wonderful. Probably one of the funniest moments. And the way Michael Cole explained it, it was self-purgatory. When her mama gave her a flip-flop and she threw it at Rhea, and he's like, for those of you who don't know, especially you kids, I'm like, oh, you talking about parent abusive right here. You throw a fucking flip-flop at your kid. I'm like, that's fucked up, Michael Cole.
Yeah, flip-flop. Oh, so great.
Or it was a sandal, not a flip or whatever. Flip flop sandal, it's all the same shit. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't it all the same?
I guess. I mean, they're not sliders, I can tell you that.
Oh, very true. I mean, yeah, the Zelina moment, I honestly, I kind of started to cry. Like, that moment was just very, like, special. And, like, it was just, it's one of those things to see somebody like that and be able to see her, like, another person, to be able to grow and see how far she's come to being, you know, where she was in NXT and being a valet to Andrade and then being a valet to this. And now she got her opportunity. She did the Queen Zelina thing and everything. But the LWO stuff, I feel like, is finally, like, fitting her very well. Like, I feel like she's kind of finding her footing into where, like, she could kind of, like, put her stamp in. And it's kind of funny because she's always been a bad person. And now her being a face, people are kind of starting to love her more. And that moment just in Puerto Rico, it was awesome. And it just, I get get chills just talking about it right now. It just, and then like you said, that moment like Ric Flair with opening it, I was kind of worried. Like, I didn't know how it was gonna, like, the whole thing was gonna go, but so cool.
Loved the moment she got. She deserved everything that it was. It was the perfect chance for her to show out in front of her crowd, to be able to be there for her people and to see everything, have her family there. The moment with the chancla, that was perfect. I think it was the perfect way to help her get that emotional win without getting the actual win in the match.
Yeah, I knew she wasn't going to win, but it wasn't a bad match. I just wish it could have been longer than 7 minutes and 10 seconds. Should have been maybe at least a 15-minute match. Been perfect.
Honestly,
for her.
I thought it was longer than that. That's really interesting.
It was only 7 minutes and 10 seconds.
Oh, wow. Sometimes I think these matches are longer, and then I go back and watch them, and I'm like, wait a minute.
But she had a great performance. I mean, it wasn't a bad match. No,
she definitely. And I don't think anybody really expected her to win. So it's like, you know, but she's still, I think she's going to be one of those that they can definitely rely on. And who knows, she could be, if they ever make a mid-card women's title, like an IC women's title or something, you know.
So. She'll eventually be champion one day soon. You never know. I could see her.
If Nikki Ash won a title in a costume like that, I think Zelina deserves it.
If Nikki Ash can win a title and Liv Morgan can win a title, then Zelina Vega 1000% deserves a title.
If it's not too late, I'm gonna just go ahead. If she can qualify, I'm gonna predict her to win Money in the Bank.
Hey, down for it.
If she gets in, if she qualifies, then she'll be my pick to win the women's Money in the Bank.
It should be interesting to see how many people they take from each brand if they hopefully stick to the brand split for however long they do.
Yeah, because I was already pissed they were letting SmackDown superstars compete in for the World Heavyweight title. But then I found out if a SmackDown guy wins it, then he's going to Raw. Like, he ain't going to be a SmackDown guy. And then I was getting worried about guys like Brock Lesnar, but he's not in it. But you never know. Look how he won Money in the Bank in 20.
Mark, don't even put that into existence.
But Roman won't have the title. You ain't got to worry about Roman walking around with 3 belts.
Are you sure? Did you guys see that thing where all those memes of it's like Roman walking out at the end and he's got the...
You know how many edited photos I saw? Like, you remember that iconic photo of him in Madison Square Garden standing on those steel steps with both titles over a bloody Brock? I saw that, but he had the World Heavyweight title around his waist. I saw, like, the one from WrestleMania when he won the titles where he's like... putting it in the cameraman's face, and he had the other one like Kenny Omega or around his waist, or Paul Heyman had it in his hand. Like, I want it. I don't want it.
The fact that Heyman very first thing said that he wanted it.
I ain't worried about it.
I like that Heyman said it. He came out and was like, "Hey, this is it. Imagine how good it'll look with Roman.
Oh, it would look good on Roman, but Roman don't need it. He already has 2 fucking titles.
He can have it maybe in like a few years.
Yes.
Like leave for like a year or two, then come back and few. I don't know.
No, I laughed like whenever they made all of a sudden when they made the announcement that WrestleMania 43 was going to be in Nashville. One guy commented and said, "I won't be attending if this guy's going to be the champion and it's Roman Reigns with the 2 titles." Like if that reign ever ends.
What about the one where it's like it's 40-70 and Roman Reigns has won another title. Triple H has announced the new world title. It's like
No, I like the one of Cody Rhodes. They made him look like an old man and he's holding both belts and it said, "When Cody finally finishes the story."
oh my
Smiling with no teeth. All you see his gums flopping. I liked when they did that. All right.
So
Next
good.
match that should have been the main event. We get Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest in a San Juan street fight. Shout out to Damian's ring gear. He came out in the same jacket that he wore at WrestleMania when he teamed up with Bad Bunny. And he wore white. And he usually says, for Puerto Ricans, wearing white means you're the hero. So he was trying to be the hero of the night. And I liked how they had the Puerto Rican flag. Like the red of the Puerto Rican flag was blood drips on his pants. That was pretty cool too. So shout. And then Bad Bunny, for once, he don't come out to Booker T. He comes out to one of his original classics, Shambea. And I loved how the crowd sang it like it was a damn concert. And the drone camera, that was fucking cool. And then coming out with the Kindle stick. And then he goes back and grabs I don't know if he was trying to mock New Jack or he was trying to mock Raven. He come out with a shopping cart full of damn weapons.
Beautiful.
So
I love
everyone. It was a debatable argument. Oh, he's imitating New Jack. Oh no, he's imitating Raven.
It's the island of hardcore. I said it. These guys innovated hardcore wrestling. If it wasn't for the Puerto Rico territory and people like Bruiser Brody and Abdullah the Butcher and Gorilla Monsoon was another one. He was one of the primary owners. Carlito's dad, Carlos Colon, Invader One. Like these guys made hardcore wrestling what it was. Like they said it in the commentators.
Not ECW. The World Wrestling Council did it before ECW. Not Paul Heyman, not Todd Gordon, not Eastern Championship Wrestling, then became Extreme. Extreme. Man, that was a hell of a match. That was straight up the match of the night. I actually gave it 5 stars. The way Bad Bunny performed, the way Damian took care of Bad Bunny, that suplex off that scaffold through the tables that was wrapped in the sheet to make it look like if it was hard. And then I expected, Finn and Dominic to come and interfere. And then I'm like, okay, where's LWO? Where's Santos Escobar? Where's Joaquin Wow? Where's Del Toro? No, the crowd was so loud, I didn't even hear Carlito's theme hit until I heard the then I recognized it and I'm like, holy shit. Hey, Carlito looks fucking good. Why are we not bringing him back? Have another pay-per-view and let Carlito take on Roman for the title.
Imagine.
And then you hear Las Boricuas. You hear Savio's theme and the crowd goes apeshit. And then Savio Vega comes out with a Kindle stick. And he beats the fuck out of Finn Balor. And the way he chopped Dominic, I thought he was going to chop his head in half. It was pretty funny. It was great. And then Bad Bunny gets the win and Puerto Rico's happy and they're all celebrating. And I'm happy for Bad Bunny. I'm just like, can we get Carlito to resign? I want him back. And the rumors that, I don't know if it's true, there's talks of Bad Bunny appearing at SummerSlam, but there's rumors of 3 different guys he could face. Brock Lesnar, Logan Paul, or Roman for the title. What would you rather?
Logan Paul. I kind of want to see Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul. Let's see the two celebrities go at it. The best celebrity wins. 2 out of 3 falls.
My big thing with that is people are saying put Bad Bunny and Logan in a match together. I've been a staunch Bad Bunny supporter since day one. I said he came in, he showed us he could work. Logan Paul begrudged him as a person, but the kid can work in a ring. The issue is they have great matches, with ring generals. You can't put two green guys who have only had 3 matches each and expect them to call a 20-minute banger in the match. They need that person that can call that match for them. So that's why maybe put Logan and the Miz versus Bad Bunny and Seth or something, just, spitballing. Give them tag team partners to have a baller match against each other. But I don't think they're both ready to call a match by themselves in a ring.
Yeah, that's it. Somebody said Omos versus Bad Bunny. Imagine.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What's up, Nick? The Universal Wrestling Podcast is here. Yeah, he's the one that said Omos versus Bad Bunny.
Funny as hell. But yeah,
both had amazing dance partners.
I mean, yeah, and that's a good point too. I feel like that honestly, that's something I didn't even think about. And as you say that, you're absolutely right with that, because that's like the one thing. It would just be a sloppy mess. So, it is. You're good. You're right on that, Will.
I don't want him facing either Roman or Brock, because I don't want him to lose a match. I want him to kind of stay undefeated for a little while. Like if he fought Logan, I could see him beating Logan. But if he fights Roman, he ain't gonna beat him for the title.
What about what about like a Bad Bunny versus like a Ricochet or like a Logan?
Holy shit! I would fucking sign.
Logan Paul Ricochet would be a fire match,
right? Yeah, especially the moment that they had at the Rumble. Like even like I think somebody like a Ricochet could like be a good dance partner with one of those guys, and I'm sure you could have Braun by the side of Ricochet standing outside.
I would fly to Detroit for that.
He said,
see what Ricochet and Bad Bunny would do in that. Holy shit, I would fly to Detroit for that.
Yeah. So, but I thought the match was great. I mean, the whole thing was just awesome. Like like we said, the only thing that was bad was it wasn't the main event. But seeing Carlito, I felt like I was 12 years old again. I felt like I was seeing him spit in the face of people that weren't cool. Like I thought he was gonna it was just the whole thing. And the shape that he is in is ridiculous. I feel like he's in better shape than he was in when he came back for the Royal Rumble. And it was like at one point, like I know like it probably wouldn't happen, but like what if we saw Carlito and Chris Masters come back? I would love to see Chris Masters. He's talked about it possibly having a return or something, but I don't know. I just love seeing Carlito. The whole thing was great. Bad Bunny picked up the win. They did everything that they needed to do, and getting those two involved, we obviously knew it was going to happen, but none of us expected Carlito. So all around, it was phenomenal. And it definitely, the only thing I will say that was like good about it being in that spot, it got me and it gave me the adrenaline to get through the next, because I was kind of getting tired like before this match. So, oh yeah.
Do you want to add more to that, Will?
No, I mean, Tino pretty much summed it up. I do think that this was their get everything in that they could match, because the last 2 matches on the card, as we get to them, had very distinct stories that had to be told. And I think that going into it, like they did everything they needed to. They had the big fireworks and the bangs and the pops and the returns and the babyface one. It was huge. So I just echoing everything Tino said, and then that little bit from me.
All right. Then we get to this 6-man tag match that I ain't gonna lie, I completely forgot about, because I was like not interested in. I wasn't really interested in this match. I didn't care, but I was only tuning in because of one particular guy. But we get the Bloodlines, the Solo Sikoa and the Usos taking on Matt Riddle and the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And we're still waiting to find out, like, is Solo going to, like, turn on the Usos? Or is Roman and Solo going to turn on the Usos? Or are they just going to leave the Bloodline? Because there's some cracks forming in the Bloodline. And, Roman returns to SmackDown tomorrow night. And I can't wait to hear what he's got to say with the shit that's been going on. And I think he's going to chew them out, but then he's going to credit Solo for being, that enforcer and picking up the win in that 6-man tag. But remember, at one point, he almost hit a Samoan spike on one of the Usos. Was it Jay that he almost hit it on? And I'm like, do it. But instead,
that was all like Umaga like coming out. That was like, he was like, I'm just ready for it.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Solo Sikoa is the reincarnation of Umaga.
Facts.
And I love it. And Solo
Big
Sikoa is now
facts.
Solo Sikoa is my favorite wrestler right now at SmackDown because
Isn't that
he Samoan spiked Matt Riddle and got the pin. We all knew Riddle was going to take the pin, but he hit him with a Samoan spike. 1, 2, 3. Loved it. I thought about Matt Ritter the whole time from Smacking Raw because he hates Riddle. And what's this about Riddle's dick getting exposed in a match or a videotape getting leaked on fucking Twitter from his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend? What's all this shit about Riddle's dick out?
Do you guys like? Oh my god! Like, I have no idea.
Apparently, what it was, he did it. Apparently, it was done previously and then released on a pay site, but it wasn't released on a pay site by him. And then on that pay site, it was leaked a second time now. So this is the second time this same group of pictures has been leaked. And
oh wow,
yeah, it was not the headlines he needed.
It was funnier when it was Seth Rollins and Kenny Omega that time.
Do you guys think he gets
when
released?
Seth got leaked? That was funny as I wish. Fuck Matt Riddle. I fucking hate him. I've always hated him.
Really? You really?
I never liked him. I didn't even like him in NXT. I guess it's just the whole barefoot shit, the flip flops, the fucking scooter, the graphics with the birds flying or the giraffes running or the rhino. I didn't even like him teaming with Orton. I'm like, y'all fucking shit on Orton. Have him team up with a pothead.
Sure.
I don't know. Matt Riddle got his own problems right now. I heard he's got like personal problems right now.
Yeah.
He's going through some shit, but also he's allowed himself to become a caricature of who he was. He used to be that badass MMA fighter that was also a pro wrestler. Now he's just, kind of a blend together of RVD, RKO, and who Matt Riddle was like years ago.
And it's sad because that NXT Riddle, like I know a lot of people didn't like him, but like that was probably the best Riddle and everything that he did and was doing. Like especially at the matches like Timothy Thatcher and everything, like I thought were really good. So, but it is what it is.
All right, main event, and I said was the worst match of the night. We had Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar, and the highlight of the whole match was fucking Cody Rhodes stomping away from Lesnar like he's fucking Squidward or the cats from Tom and Jerry. I loved all the memes and gifs they made.
I just couldn't. After I saw I
thought of Dusty Rhodes. Dusty did shit like that too. And I'm like, but Brock bleeding like that when he hit the turnbuckle and just the way the match ended, he had him in a Kimura lock and then Cody just fell on top of him. And his shoulders were down, and it was 1, 2, 3. I was like, God, they fucked Lesnar up. It was a 9-minute, 40-second match.
It went longer than I thought it would.
But they're having another match at Night of Champions, and something tells me Cody might win again, or Cody's going to probably die in Saudi when he goes to Suplex City again.
There needs to be a stipulation.
It will be. This will be the street fight. This will be the train wreck match.
It has to be. There's no other question.
It's gonna
and that's the one thing good about the Saudi pay-per-views is they always try to go all out. So it's gonna probably feel like a big show because in reality this is Saudi as WrestleMania. So everybody's going, everybody wants to watch it. They're gonna try to do everything to have everybody on hand for it. So
other than that, Backlash was a tremendous pay-per-view. I didn't give it 5 stars because you didn't put the right match in the main event, but I rated the show 4 out of 5. The crowd alone gets 5 stars. Bad Bunny gets 5 stars for putting on a great performance and hosting it, and having Carlito and Savio Vega and all them make appearances. Again, best match was the San Juan Street fight. The worst match I said was the main event, Cody and Brock. Give me y'all's take on the show and what you thought was best and worst match of the night.
Will, you want to go first?
Best match of the night, hands down, was the street fight. Going into it, I said that Io and Bianca had set the bar high and that I thought that was going to be the best match. And then Damian and Bad Bunny came in and did what they did and stole the show. I agree the main event was the worst match of the night, not because of the match they
What's
put
up, Real
together.
Fresh?
The Real
was
Fresh
just-
channel. What's up?
What's up, Real
Hey.
Fresh? But Cody and
Bro Fresh. I like that.
just it was like a 5-minute. It felt like a 5-minute house show match is how that match felt. And then the busting open on the turnbuckle looked like a Brock Lesnar house show match, like when he goes to Madison Square Garden and he bleeds for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I definitely agree with you. Worst match was definitely the main event out of the show. Best match, definitely the street fight. And I mean, all around, it was definitely a good pay-per-view or premium live or PLE, whatever you want to call it. 4 out of 5. I mean, it was a good show. I mean, it was what it was. I mean, I feel like they're obviously going to be more to be building now to like I feel like they're gonna be like I said with Saudi, I feel like it might feel a little bit bigger to like others, but like I feel like they did like what they needed to do for Backlash is exactly what they needed to do. It was a good show. It was, it was a little bit after WrestleMania. It didn't have WrestleMania Backlash in it, so it was good. And it definitely had
Thank God. That was smart.
It's gonna have its own feel to it, where like in a few years, if we're gonna talk about backlashes, we're gonna remember this Backlash being in Puerto Rico and being like, remember that street fight? Like it was a banger. We got to go back and watch it. So,
I think this was the best Backlash of all time. I said Backlash 2000 was the greatest Backlash ever, but I think this out-topped it.
Honestly, I haven't watched any of the old Backlashes, so I could.
When was the Orton Cactus Jack?
2004. I covered that. I covered that a few weeks ago. Dylan and I talked Backlash 04.
That's a great one. That's up there for me. This one was great though. I'm not taking. I would definitely give this a 3.75 to 4 out of 5.
Hey.
I said Backlash 2000 was my favorite for so many years because of, that main event match with Rock and Triple H and Austin coming back and helping Rock win the title and getting Earl Hebner to count 3 after he got fired. The Eddie Guerrero Essa Rios match for the European Championship was a show stealer. That hardcore 6-way was pretty cool. Trish getting put through a table by the Dudleys and Jim Ross's hilarious comments about tonsil hockey and when she got put through it was just awesome. And Benoit and Jericho's match could have been an amazing match and match of the night, but the way it ended pissed me off, ending in a DQ like that. But it was Backlash 2000 was always a good one for me.
I hate matches that end in a DQ, and I hate matches where I'm so excited to watch them and they have a shitty finish, and I never want to watch them again.
Well, how it finished was Benoit went for the diamond headbutt, and when he went to land it, Jericho put the belt in front of him, and he hit his head on the title. And I think it was Mike Chioda, and we interviewed him a few weeks ago, called the DQ on Jericho, and I was picking Jericho to win the Intercontinental title.
Man, I don't know. Man,
So
now it's on the road to United Champions.
Yep. Well, I said in 2 weeks we were going to have a triple prediction show. I forgot. There's 4 wrestling shows Memorial Day weekend. You can't forget Impact's doing Under Siege on the Friday, May 26th. Then May 27th, you got Night of Champions. And then May 28th, you got AEW Double or Nothing and NXT Battleground. So I haven't had a quadruple prediction show since WrestleMania. So I got a second one coming May 25th. We need to start taking applications on who's coming on for that prediction show. I have to talk with Dylan on that one. But that'll do it for tonight. Thank you guys again for joining me. The Hostly Trio will be back together next week. But real quick, where can we find you and your shows? We'll start with Tino.
Hey, well, thank you, Marcus, so much. Thank you, Will. We got to do it again. We got to keep our streak alive. Maybe we'll
It's just week after week after week, man.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for having me on the show. I do appreciate it. You guys can find me at Tino's Time on YouTube, Tino's Time 1996 on all the social medias. I'm live all the time, Monday through Sunday. Gaming, baseball, football. I'm starting Nintendo Switch this weekend. I got that gaming card hooked up. I was talking to you guys about it. Finally,
Yeah.
after it took me another 3 hours, but I finally got it all hooked up. So yeah, come and hang out on Tino's Time, and thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
Marcus, it's always a pleasure. Once again, you, Jordan, and Dylan are always great guys.
Absolutely.
For those of you who want to check me out in other places, I'm on the road. I'm remote. I usually have a much nicer setup. I usually have this whole like lights and bells and whistles. It's a whole thing. Not tonight. You guys got the bare bones basic Will. But if you want to see normal Will, check me out. You can see the link tree at the Will Gray. You can find all my shenanigans at Botched Spots and Chair Shots at botchspotsandchairshots.com. Thank you guys.
Again, you can find the podcast on Twitter at Worldly Pod. We're also on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. We're free and available anywhere and everywhere, from Spotify, Google Pod, Spreaker, iHeartRadio. Our live streams like this one, powered by StreamYard, you can watch anytime on demand on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel. Thank you to our proud sponsors. First off, Dubby. Go to w.gg, use our promo code World Elite Pod to get 10% off. Dubby, be better. And also our second sponsor, 80s Tees, right there below your screen. Use that promo code World Elite to get 30% off at 80stees.com. Again, Will, Tino, always a pleasure. Love having you on, guys. Love y'all shows, even when I can make appearances. Thank you to all the listeners for tuning in. This is the Worldly Podcast. Again, reminder, the Hostly Trio will be back together next week. So we'll see you guys soon. Thank y'all, and y'all have a good one.
There's nothing to fear along the way. There's nothing I could say. Nothing I could say.